tick-tock, tick-tock. Are y'all ready to rock?
It's music time! Hello, universe. Welcome to the It's Music Time podcast. My name is Morgan Mitchell.
And I'm Tanner Grover, and this is what we do. And today we are doing it with
Rigometrics. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Joey, Derek,
Love it. Love it. All right. We are going to not waste any time and jump right in. Tanner, take it away.
That's right. So whenever we have new guests on the show, we like a little bit of an icebreaker, a little bit of a game. And so, Rigometrics, a rig. What is a rig? Well, a rig is a yacht, right? So today we're going to be playing Yacht Rocker, and there are 5 trivia questions. And the answer to these trivia questions, it's going to be one of 2 famous yacht rockers, either Kenny Loggins or Daryl Hall. So, Joey, Derek, and Keenan, are you ready to play Yacht Rocker?
Let's do it. Give it a go.
Okay, question number 1. Yacht Rocker. Here we go. Which yacht rockers' parents were vocal coaches at their Methodist church? Was it Kenny Loggins or Daryl Hall? Who was it?
I'm going to go Daryl.
Yeah, it's 50-50. Let's go Daryl.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's
Absolutely right.
Nailed it. 1 for 1.
100% correct on that. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Next.
All right. Which yacht rocker restores and preserves historic homes in both the U.S. and England? Is it Kenny Loggins or Daryl Hall?
I think
I'm also going to go with Daryl Hall now.
Daryl.
Correct. Absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, Daryl's house. Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, number 3. Which yacht rocker is an accomplished pilot and owns their own plane? Loggins or Hall? What do we think?
I think you guys switch it up and go Loggins on this next one.
Yeah, let's lock.
Correct. Amazing.
Good here.
All right. Highway to the danger zone.
All right, here we go.
All right. Which yacht rocker took a mid-career break from music and opened up a bed and breakfast in Montana? Was it Kenny Loggins or Daryl Hall?
I'm going to go Loggins because Daryl Hall is doing some stuff overseas.
I think we're going with Kenny on that one.
You are correct.
Well done.
You are correct. Amidst all that chaos, we made it out alive. Kenny Loggins, bed and breakfast in Montana, serving up flapjacks.
You guys are 4 out of 4. I'm little. So I think you're going to do it. I think you're going to do all 5. Number 5 is which yacht rocker was originally going to replace David Lee Roth as the lead singer of Van Halen until it fell through? Who was it?
Joe, you got the answer to that question?
Yeah, Joe, this is all you. Wow.
Loggins or Hall?
I feel like Kenny Loggins has that in him. I feel like he could sing like David Lee Roth. Maybe.
Final answer?
Kenny Loggins.
It was Hall.
No. Fine.
But Loggins might have also done that. I don't know. Maybe they switched it. Yeah, very good. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Good job.
That's pretty remarkable, y'all.
So the one other thing we're going to do right before we get into your bio, we like to illuminate all of our guests on the birthday song, the day they were born. What was the number 1 Billboard song? So first up, Keenan, you came to us on November 22nd, 1997. Do you have any idea what the number 1 Billboard song was on the day you were born?
I have no clue.
No clue. It was Candle in the Wind, 1997, / Something About the Way You Look Tonight by Elton John. Yeah. So next time you're in a karaoke bar, you get after it.
I like it.
All right.
Derek,
you came to us January 12th, 1998. Do you know what the #1 song was the day you were born?
No idea.
Truly, Madly, Deeply by Savage Garden. I could see a Rigometrics cover of that in your future.
Okay.
I
Now,
happen to love that song. All right, Joseph, what do we think?
November 24th, 1998.
I don't know.
This one I had to look up. I had to look all of them up, actually. But Lately by a band called Divine, which I have no idea who they are. It's kind of like a TLC adjacent, I would say. But hey, the song's got like 12 million views on YouTube, so someone loved it.
Yeah.
So you guys are what, 2 Sagittariuses and a Capricorn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's power. That's dangerous power, actually. Levels of power that are dangerous. Spotlight for you guys. I'm going to walk through some information that you sent us about all the incredibleness of you and what you're up to. So sit back, relax, you and audience and listeners. I'm just going to read a little bit about these wonder people that have joined us today. Making some serious noise in the Northeast music scene, Rigometrics provides an original, raw, high energy rock and roll sound that's transformative and undeniably unique. Hell yeah. Their signature blend of multiple genres seamlessly unites classic rock with a contemporary edge, comprised of explosive guitar solos by Josef Berger, effortlessly shredding through intricate melodies. Derek Haney providing a foundation through pulsating beats on the drums, and Keenan Hendricks hitting an extraordinary vocal range with hammering piano skills. Together, the 3-piece band delivers performances and leave diverse audiences in awe and garner a dedicated fan base. Double hell yeah. Formed in 2021, Rigometrics has already embarked on 9 tours down the East Coast. 9. Selling out venues, headlining 30 major shows in Maine, and performing 300 plus gigs, all while working independently to gain traction and showcase their unique sound across the Northeast. Early releases like the EP Elodie, did I say that right?
Elodie.
And their 2022 debut album, Rig and Roll, created a buzz for their latest EP, No Time to Waste. Released in July 2023, and their live albums Live in Maine and Live in Maine 2, released in 2024 and 2025. All right, listeners, so these projects are being shared through constant, energetic live performances and an undeniable stage presence throughout the Northeast via a renovated school bus, hello, that Rigometrics call home on the road. Way too cool, you guys, way too cool. To bring their latest release to life, they collaborated with notable producers, John Wyman, Matt Perry, Anthony Gotti, as well as Grammy award-winning artists and producers, including Dave Gutter, Adam Ayan, and Basie Bob Brockman. Showcases using their collective experience to create songs that showcases Rigometrics' unique sound while maintaining an undeniable connection to the roots of rock and roll, baby. Rigometrics, we are so, so honored you're here. Welcome and thank you for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So you know, it first came on my radar this year when you co-headlined music festival with Toby McAllister. He was a guest on our show a few months ago. This was in Belfast, I believe. Was that in April? Was that when that was?
That was in May. Yeah, All Roads. Yeah.
All Roads. Yeah. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about this past year. I mean, I know, you had a busy weekend. You're at Portland House of Music. So, I mean, get everyone up to speed. What's 2025 been like?
It's been a little slower than 2024, which is not a bad thing, but we're about to have an extremely busy summer, kind of all over the Northeast. But like in 2024, we played 113 gigs all over the east side of Mississippi. And the beginning of 2025, we did a short run down to like the southeast. But then everything else has kind of been strategically around the northeast. And before it gets really busy here this summer, and then we're going to hit the road again in the fall. Yeah, I mean, I think like in that, in regards to the bio about like 300 gig, I think now we're probably close to 400. Probably now. Yeah, probably close to like 11 or 12 runs down outside of the Northeast.
All in the school bus, you guys? All in the school bus?
The stuff outside of the Northeast, yeah. Sometimes.
So can we just hear like a little tiny bit about the school bus? How did it come on your radar? Did you retrofit it? Like, what's the deal there?
In the fall of 2022, we heard that there's like a thing in Maine where the school districts, once the buses get to 120,000 miles, they auction them off. So then we submitted a bid on it. We got it for really, really cheap. And yeah, we've had it since. We painted the outside with a local Portland artist. And then like cut all the seats out and built some shelving and got some bunk beds and some couches in there. And yeah, it's been our home on the road since.
I mean, it's all painted too. It's got like, so tell me a little bit about the artwork as well, because it's all over. It's very, I don't know, psychedelic, retro, classic rock. I know, like I've seen the comparisons to Led Zeppelin, and I get that. I think, Keenan, you got a little bit of Robert Plant in that voice. I can hear that. But I hear a little like Greta Van Fleet as well. And like, there's just, I don't know, but there's something throwbacky about what you're all doing. So like, who's doing this art? Is it you guys, or do you get friends that help you, come up with this? Tell us a little bit about the visual element of Rigometrics.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of just a combination of all of us like a lot of classic rock tunes, I think, overall. Like, that's definitely a big inspiration to our music. But at the same time, we love, like, trying to blur those lines of what genre we are playing. Like, we like playing modern rock. But I think the roots are in classic rock. So I think that just naturally kind of comes out on its own. But we do work with a ton of artists here in Portland that, like, I mean, we'll show them songs as we're working on them and take their notes, and like they have the genres that they like. So it's really just a collective, but the roots are definitely classic rock, I feel like.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I was also struck by your album art, like a lot of the imagery that you use on the covers of your singles and your albums, like it's also got that kind of throwback classic energy to it. And who is doing that art? Are you guys?
It's not us. A couple of them of the album arts is like photos that we kind of, got ready for it, kind of like had this idea in mind, and then, edited the photo and then found a graphic artist to put some lettering on it and kind of, enhance the vibe that we're going for. But like a Lodi, it's a local artist, graphic artist. Her name's Molly Welch. She helped us with a couple singles and then that EP cover art. And then our most recent single, Couldn't Tell Ya, is a foreign graphic artist that we kind of found through other bigger bands that they do some pretty wild work.
Love it.
Like so Derek was saying, like we do work with a lot of varied artists. Like we have a single coming out in a month or so, and we've never worked with this artist who's making the cover art now. It's just nice to kind of like work with a lot of different people and not just kind of pigeonhole ourselves to one vibe or one artwork. And like we do a lot of like, a lot of like posters we'll do with local artists. Sometimes we do some of the stuff on our own, but a lot of times we outsource like the bigger, like more like non-disposable artwork, right?
Sure. Yep. I love it. And in a world of AI, it's nice to hear that y'all are working with real human beings that are making real art. I love it. Yeah.
Well, your band, it's a vibe, and it's what I love about it is I think in today's day and age, there's so many individual artists, and I mean, I know there are bands, right? But I'm just not seeing a lot of people coming together and collaborating collectively. So I was wondering if you guys could talk for a minute about what's it like to be in a real collaborative band in 2025, as opposed to just an individual doing your own thing. Maybe hop in here or there. But I mean, you guys are working together. You're writing together, and you're making music as a collaboration. What's that like?
I mean, I feel like that's kind of like all we've really known as a band. Kind of like this is all of our first band. So like we've just kind of been figuring it out together from the very beginning. So yeah, and I think that's probably a reason that it reflects with our stage presence and just our energy in general. Because I mean, we've been crammed in the living room jamming together since the very beginning. So being crammed on stage is no different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's an element to it, and it is nice though that we're all on the same page in terms of like, let's give this thing a go, because that's important. Like there's a lot of people we know that are like incredible musicians and incredible bands, but they, which is totally fair, they just don't want to go full send with it, and it does require so much time. That's the biggest sacrifice, is time, and it's like so much fun. And like what we've been building is, like Derek said, like we had no experience at all individually or collectively doing anything like this. So, and we had no idea we'd be taking it as serious as we are now. So then it's just kind of like, okay, let's just keep this thing going. And where could this be, a couple of years from now? And just trying to keep the foot on the gas pedal. But it's hard to find, collect, a group of people that is all in on the same thing.
All in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I heard that your first gig was at a graduation party.
Yeah.
So like, how do we go from your first gig at the graduation party to the moment where you say, you know what, like we can go full send on this? Like, when did that kind of change?
I feel like we were a bit delusional at first, right? You got to be.
Yeah.
Not that we're not now, but we did that graduation gig, and then we had this like 2-week planned vacation graduation thing, and we just like down to North Carolina and Virginia, and we brought all of our gear with us, and we did the whole fake it till you make it thing, and just reached out to a bunch of venues. This is also when like COVID was being released, like the mask mandate, and a lot of like areas were like, that summer that everything was kind of released, everything was kind of like full bloom and that vibe. And a week after we played in our backyard, we played at a real venue in North Carolina, and we just like told them that we're on this like pre-album release tour, and just like had no experience at all. We had like 8 songs we had to cover 3 hours a time, and we just played those same 8 songs like 3 times, and it was like a full room on like a Wednesday night in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. And then we came back to Maine, and the weekend that we got back, that was when everything released in Maine, and we got booked at this like fermentery, Urban Farms fermentery, and like it went well enough, and we're like, okay, let's just keep this thing going. And we just played the bar scene all summer. And then I don't think we all had jobs like out of college out of then, because we were like, it was just kind of like this thing on the side that was kind of fun. And then it just kept getting better, and the bar gigs kept getting busier, and like more people kept coming, that we were like, wait, the same people are here that were here like 3 weeks ago. Like, this is kind of weird. And then we got asked to play our first venue not too long after then, like maybe 6 months after then, and then just like started selling tickets. And then that just kind of like we got the bus, and it was like, okay, let's do this. And yeah, I got an opportunity to like record a bunch of music, and yeah, I don't know.
Magic happens. Dreams do come true, you guys. It's so cool. It's so cool. When you hear it in the music, you hear how much time and energy you put into it, obviously, because it's exquisite, but also just like the joy and the momentum of everything you're building together. It's really, really fun.
I really love to hear these origin stories. And yeah, I don't know if you have any favorite bands. I'm sure y'all do. You all have your own influences and people that you love. And for me, a band I grew up with that I'd like really get into is REM, right? And so REM's first gig was at an abandoned church in Athens, Georgia. And kind of like you're saying, they didn't have any songs, right? And all they did was play like Velvet Underground covers for 3 hours, you know? And so it's just every band, it's, you know, from all walks of life, they all start out, I think, kind of doing what you're doing. And the fact that you're doing it in the 2020s, modern times, I just love that. I mean, I think it's like, I love the idea of like friends that hang out and share space on a bus and make music and get, you know, make people happy. So that's cool.
Gives me hope. All right, what do we think?
I think I want to talk a little bit about your live shows, right? So for those fans that have not attended a Rigometrics show, what would you tell them? What could they expect?
I don't know. I feel like we've built up a pretty fun, diverse community of people here in Portland specifically, and that kind of goes anywhere as we travel. But like, I don't know. I think there's just good vibes and good energy at every show. We try to throw a bunch of curveballs in so that you might not necessarily know if there's some drastic vibe changes. But overall, I just feel like we built a good community around us and try to just spread the good vibes overall. But
It's definitely loud.
it is also loud.
It's a party. It's a party, you know, and that's kind of the vibe that we give off. It is that like raw energy that like you're just kind of like letting loose and having
Perfect.
time, being in the moment, you know. Yeah.
You need that.
Do your fans have names? Are they like the Rigomaniacs or what are your fans called?
I don't think so. Not that we know.
Nothing officially yet.
No.
Rigometrics is not bad.
Well, yeah, okay, you know. You can take that. That one's for free. So tell us a little bit about the new single. Couldn't tell you, right?
Yep.
So you just put it out last week?
Yep.
So tell us about that song.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty like honest and like literal concept lyrically. And it's kind of just like a little more like folk rock inspired for like writing the lyrics, that is. You know, it's just really just kind of more or less about like it's okay to not know like what you're doing and being comfortable with not knowing, which is like a hard thing to do, especially like, you know, because one of those things like in our age that we're in now, like we see a lot of our maybe like our peers or whatever, you know, kind of like going in these like more traditional routes in life. And what we're doing is not traditional at all, super unconventional. And it's kind of like us living this lifestyle has definitely like kind of like infected like the way that we write lyrically too, because it's just like this lifestyle we're living. And so it's kind of more or less about just like being free to the unknown and being comfortable and not like succumbing to society pressures, right? You know,
Beautiful.
like, more feel good and like, you know,
Yeah.
couldn't tell you where we're going. And we tried to get a little bit more of like the Northeast, like Mainer kind of thing, like couldn't tell you. You know, it's not couldn't tell you. It's definitely not that. You know,
No, it's definitely not that.
not that. That means a completely different thing.
Couldn't tell you, bub.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're gonna get into our deep cut
Okay.
for the episode. So Morgan, why don't you take it away?
All right. Well, okay. So the deep cut is a section of the podcast where we go a little bit more in depth and we ask a question that really gets those kind of creative juices flowing, gets your think box on, on the job here. So basically, this question, we're going to ask you, what music do you think will transcend 500 years into the future? Not 100, 2, 3, 4, 500 years. So take a second to sort of conceive of that. Some say music is timeless. In the instances, for example, of classical artists like Beethoven or Mozart, that might be true. But which songs or artists do you feel, the three of you individually, might actually still have some impact or relevance in the year 2525?
I feel like there's got to be a good chance that like the Grateful Dead is still hanging around as like some like legends old tale of like how they went about it. Like that'll be so foreign at that point. I don't know. That's my vote.
That's a good answer.
I think it's like a lot of like in terms of like rock, would be a lot of the bands from the 60s and the 70s. Like they're still listened to more now than they were, back 50 to 60 years ago. And it's like a lot of like pop stars of today, like, they have like a short span, like maybe a couple of years, and maybe they have like these hit songs, but like those classic bands, from the 60s and 70s, I feel like are always going to be around. Like the Zeppelin and like the Beatles, and like the Beatles will definitely be listened to if we're all still here in 2500.
Yep. Truth.
Yeah, I feel like it would definitely have to be something kind of from like 60s or 70s, more like singer-songwriter based, because I feel like with like technology, like the like sound design and stuff you can put into music will eventually get like so crazy, but I feel like something that's kind of stripped back, just like lyrics and one instrument or something, I feel like that'll always hold the test of time.
Yeah. Tanner, what about you?
See, I'm probably more cynical, unfortunately. Just so I went back to like 1500, and I'm like, what were people listening to back then? It's all Renaissance music, right?
Sure.
And I think Renaissance music. I'm thinking, we had like Renaissance Day in 6th grade where there was supposed to be a full-on turkey. It was just cold cuts. But what do? You're like dancing around the maypole or something. I don't know. So in 2525, geez, I think the Grateful Dead answer is as good as any in a way, just in the sense of, you think about Deadheads, right, and how that's like a cultural phenomenon, and maybe you get a trace of that. Maybe there's some leftover LSD lying around in 2025. I don't know. I'm not sure. I really don't know. All I know is that we're here for a moment in time, and we got to try and make the most of it. And with any luck whatsoever, maybe, just maybe, there's something that's relevant in 25. I don't think it will be Taylor Swift. I will say that. I don't think it will be that. But maybe I'm wrong, too. Maybe I'm that naive. Who knows? Morgan, how about you?
Okay, so Stevie Wonder. I don't know. Stevie Wonder. Period. I don't know. It's just like the most brilliant music to me forever. Especially Songs in the Key of Life, that whole album is just like so stunning and timeless. And I don't know, it's just a brilliant singer-songwriter, and the energy and the vibration that he carries. We'll move on to the Mix It Up playlist section of our podcast here. So just to recap, we had Grateful Dead, Beatles, or Led Zeppelin. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Yep. And then Tanner, you said not Taylor Swift.
I said not Taylor Swift.
And I said Stevie Wonder. Okay, so Mix It Up. So Mix It Up is a playlist section. I'm gonna let Tanner, you take that away. That's your gig.
So every episode of the It's Music Time podcast, we have a playlist that our listeners can tune into. The link to the playlist will be in the Spotify description as well as the YouTube description. And we have contributions from our guest today. And so we're just going to highlight one of our contributions. So, Keenan, why don't you get us started? What song do you want to highlight for the Mix It Up playlist?
Yeah, I think I submitted I'm Writing the Novel by Father John Misty. I believe that was the song I sent you. Yeah, I'm like really big into Father John right now. I didn't really know him about, I don't know, until like 6 months ago, which like obviously he's a pretty large scale artist and like modern to today. And just kind of like, it's always enjoyable, like find a new artist that's been around for, you know, a couple of decades, and you can go do a deep dive in, you know, all their archives and all their music. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just a really big fan of his and like the way that he does his production, and his, especially his lyrical, you know, approach. Yeah, that's the one that I submitted. It's nothing necessarily like, you know, like close to what we're doing, but I definitely have some influences recently from him, just like more like lyrical approach to stuff. You know.
Yeah. His lyrics are amazing. I got to see him in 2018, I want to say, at Thompson's Point.
Yeah.
He was a great show. Like very like such a showman too, but also like clearly like a kind of like deep introverted also dude. Just a complex person. Similarly, I'm drawn to his lyrics. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, he's coming. Did he already come to Thompson's Point this year? I thought he was on the schedule.
He's coming in a couple weeks. I'm super bummed because we have a show. So we won't be around. That's like the one show that I was going to be able to go to, or wanted to go to rather. But yeah.
We gotta get you on that bill, man.
Yeah, maybe
why can't you just open for him?
That's fair. I don't know. We might bring a little bit more energy than Father John.
Yeah, different vibes. You never know. He might come up with some new things. You guys might meet somewhere.
That's what's kind of hard for us, though. Like, not to go like too much of a tangent, but like in terms of us like opening up for bands, like we bring such a intense like energy and vibe, like right from the get go. That like I don't blame some bands not wanting to have us kick off for them because it's like it's just a lot of energy to have kick off the night. But yeah,
I don't think that's a bad thing, and I'll be like completely transparent with you guys. I've only started to look at some of your live stuff within the past like month or two, you know, and I've seen and I understand that intensity you're talking about. But it's pretty contagious. And I don't know if you're familiar with the band Future Island, but they have a lead singer who is a complete bonkers nutcase, but he can really captivate some audiences. And I watched them open up for Weezer up in Bangor 2 summers ago. And, you know, he just blew people away. So I would, whatever, my only advice is don't hold back. You know, just be yourself.
Turn it all the way up. Oh, yeah. We need it. What else? What else did y'all put on the playlist?
I submitted OD by Polyphia. I really like them as a band. I think they're doing some like the most like progressive music right now, instrumental wise. They have like a lot of Latin rhythms and then like kind of classical melodies, but then it's all in like trap hip hop production. And I really like listening to it. I think it's super cool. I got a lot of influence from them. It comes through in some 10-second bits and pieces here and there in our songs, but yeah, I really like that song OD by them.
Cool.
Love it.
And then I put, I think it was Greyhound by Palace. They're from Europe, but I just got to see them live in March. And it was like one of the best live shows I've seen in a long, long time. So yeah, I've been listening to them for like 3 years. Finally got to see them live. They like their band story is like similar to ours in a sense of like they started out as just friends, like not really doing the band thing, and then it just grew into this massive thing. And yeah, they write. I feel like a lot of their songs people connect with emotionally. So, and it's been one of my favorites for the last couple of years.
Ooh, this playlist is gonna be so good. And what'd you do?
All right, so I've got to read the title because it's a long one. Let's see.
God has rejected the Western world.
Yeah, God has rejected the Western world. It's by this band called Lodger, and they're a Finnish alt rock band, and they've been around for like 20-something years. And this is actually an older song I just figured out, but they re-released it in 2005. But way back in the day, we're talking like pre-YouTube. They would release these Flash music videos, and you can watch them all on YouTube. I think the most famous one is called "I Love Death." There's actually one for this song as well, and I don't know. They're kind of like the Finnish Blink-182 or something, because they're a little goofy. They're a little. They've been described as like nihilistic. I don't know if that's true. But this song, it just feels, I don't know, kind of appropriate in 2025. God has rejected the Western world. Here we are.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yep.
We're struggling over here. I chose Espresso by the Oshima Brothers. I'm sure y'all know the Oshima Brothers.
Yeah.
So other Maine-based incredible creators, artists. Their latest song, Espresso, is so good. And the music video is also extremely beautiful. They're such multi-dimensional creators, cinematography and even dance and visual art. So I feel like that song and the visuals connected to it features this incredible dancer. It's just like really a treat. And then I'm just going to say the other one that I said was Honey by Lone Bellow, which, do you know that song? It's such a good song. And it's just like one of those like windows down. It has kind of a classic rock pulse undertone to it. So anyway, we're all going to really enjoy this playlist. Thanks, guys, for playing that with us. Hard to believe it. We're already kind of wrapping up. Time to plug the socials. Let people know where they can find y'all. We've got Rigometrics.com, so that's easy enough. People can head on over there. And Rigometrics on Instagram, on Facebook, and then YouTube. So if you want to watch all the videos, hear the music, Rigometrics 9779. And as for us, we're the It's Music Time podcast on Facebook, well, Instagram, but we're mostly on Spotify and YouTube. So check that out. Head over, write a comment, hang out with us. But before that,
Yeah, don't touch that dial. We have an encore performance following this episode of Couldn't Tell Ya. I'm not sure if it's going to be a music video or the still art. We're going to figure that out. We've had a lot of technical difficulties today, so we thank our audience members for hanging in there, as well as Rigometrics themselves. This is the first for us. We never had multiple cameras like this. This is pretty cool. The fact that we can all get together and chat. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you guys for having
Y'all
us.
have such a good thing going.
Cool.
It's so refreshing to chat with people that are just so deep in the love of their creative process and dedicated to your art. Dedicated your entire life, your lifestyle to making music and to spreading the energy of art. Like, it is not a small thing, and I just want to like lift up and congratulate you and honestly thank you for the work. It's not always easy. All the practice, all the many hours, all the schlepping, all the loading, unloading, all the late. So thanks, guys. Thank you and for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, so thank you guys again and for your patience with our crazy technical snafus. But listeners, come join us on all the social platforms, share, like, subscribe, do all the things. We appreciate your support. Until next time, y'all, stay cooler than cool, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
So scared of money? Is it because it tears us apart? Wasting years trying to buy more days, 'cause some will cash more than a memory. Why am I so stuck on tomorrows? I don't even know what today is. Caught in a cycle, my own rival. I can't even see it till I'm there. I've been to places where the scroll can steal your soul. The thief of joy has no remorse, but I couldn't tell you where I'm going. Follow me and you'll find out. Let's disappear in the horizon and lose ourselves to the great unknown. Lose ourselves to the great unknown. Ain't it beautiful if we don't know? So caught on ego when I'm happiest being humble. No chasing praise from those who take all the fun away from this game. I've been to places where the scroll can steal your soul. The thief of joy has no remorse, but I couldn't tell you where I'm going. Follow me and you'll find out. Let's disappear in the horizon and lose ourselves to the great unknown. Lose ourselves to the great unknown. Ain't it beautiful if we don't know? Ain't it beautiful if we don't know? great unknown. Yeah. And lose ourselves to the great unknown. And lose ourselves to the great unknown.
The It's Music Time podcast is an independent passion project produced by Tanner Grover and Morgan Mitchell. The theme song for this podcast is by Ben Shepherd, the artist known as Yay Yay. Find him on Instagram at Yay Yay Music. Thanks for tuning in to the It's Music Time podcast. See you next time.